Hi, I'm Analia, and welcome to Brightly Becoming, a podcast that gives you the space to slow down and come back to yourself. Here we talk through life in a grounded way, where conversations are held on identity, faith, and becoming who we're called to be. If you're in a clear season or an uncertain one, I'm glad you're here either way. It's time to come back to who you are underneath what you carry. Welcome to Brightly Becoming. Your life is not isolated strictly to what you are able to see or understand right now. You're going to look back at this time and think, wow, I am so thankful that happened to me. I am so thankful I went through that difficult time in my life so I could be here right now. Everything that's happening right now is happening for you, not to you. You are living inside of a moment that will one day become a memory you interpret differently. Let's dive into this one. That life you're praying for, that future you're praying for, God can't just place that in your lap overnight. Even if deep down that's what we want, He knows it wouldn't actually be what's best for us. Because if He were to just give you everything you prayed for, your dream life, a relationship, that dream job, that move, be honest with yourself. Could the version you are right now hold those blessings and not mishandle them? Could the version you are right now receive those blessings and not reject God once you get everything you want? For me, personally, the answer is absolutely not. God is shaping me and helping me become the woman I pray to be daily. Just last week, something great happened, and all of a sudden I'm thinking I could do it on my own again. And I rejected God just like that, just because one blessing was placed in my lap. Here's a hard pill to swallow. All of your suffering has purpose. And when you're ready to see it that way, because that also takes time, we like to sit in our suffering for a little, and there is nothing wrong with that. That's the most human thing that we can do. But once we're ready to see that suffering occurs to prepare us for more, that mindset shift is actually life-changing. My suffering has brought me closer to Jesus, and in my own disobedience, I'm learning to trust God. I think to myself, oh great, I had an awesome day. I can do this on my own again. And then God hits me right upside the head, just like last week. And I'm reminded again that I don't need to do it all alone. That hyper-independent part of me, I feel that needs to take the driver's seat. I was saved from that. I don't need to be that version of myself anymore. And this is the honest truth. When you look back on your life, you've always been guided. You've always been led, so why is this suddenly any different? You're on the right path. Things are going to get better. And if right now they aren't getting better, guess what? That just means He's not done. He's not done with you. Because now, in this very moment, I can look back 2 years ago and say, thank God. Thank God I went through one of the scariest times in my life. Thank God I lost my job. Thank God I had to move back home. Thank God I literally hit rock bottom. And how crazy is that, right? That we could look back on all these things that felt at the time like our life was ending and now see them in such a different light, see them in such a beautiful way. You've done this before and look at where He led you. You are going to be okay. Every single person with a testimony is meant to change the world. And this is something I'm so passionate about now. Listen, God loved you so much that He gave you your challenging experience to guide you back to Him. I talked about feeling so lost last week. Don't we just love falling into old habit patterns? Old ways of thinking when our emotions are running high. I fall for it every time. But I realized something. God is using my health journey to save me and save others. Wow. And that's bigger than any job I could want right now, because I realize this is where God wants me, right here, doing what I love to do. And the truth is, if I hadn't hit rock bottom, this podcast would not have been born. I wouldn't have ran back to God. I'd still be overworking myself, thinking my worth was attached solely to how much money I made each day. God takes my pain and he turns it into the most beautiful testimony and redemption story, knowing that it will help someone else. I was literally following a path of destruction before my health fell apart and the life that followed. And God used one of the scariest moments in my life to bring me back to him. Wow. If you want to follow God, you have to be ready to embrace and endure hard, difficult seasons. Sometimes you have to be ready to suffer, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Suffer like Jesus did. Your story is the very thing that could change the stranger next to you's life. God literally wants us to use that story he wrote because it tells people about him. We ultimately end up giving that glory right back to him. I mean, your story could save someone's life, and you're going to let the opinion of another person hold you back from sharing it? I'm guilty of that too. I'm over here preaching. I'm just as guilty of that as you are. Back to how I was feeling lost last week. I realized I was just looking for myself in all the wrong places. Maybe my calling is to bring the presence of God in rooms that need it the most, just by who I am. It's not about saying the perfect thing. It's not about being the perfect person, because that doesn't exist. Your very life is the testimony. The way you show up with peace and patience, that story, it's not something you created on your own. You can't take credit for that. No, it's something God placed in you. Your suffering has purpose. Here's something to think about. What if this space you're trying to rush through is the story itself? I'm sure we've all made plans to get to the other side. We treat the uncertain areas of our lives as problems to be solved rather than a place to just sit for a while, knowing that this will pass, because it always does. And God always takes care of us. Me personally, I have planned my way through discomfort so many different times. I find myself thinking about what my life will be like after all of this is over and I find my new life. But the truth is, I have no idea what that looks like, and we aren't supposed to. I have a vision board, I have dreams and goals, and just like you do, but I am not the author of my own story. God is. Sometimes we just need to be humble and hand the pen back to him. These past few weeks, I grabbed the pen right out of his hand and tried to do things my way again. How do you think that ended up for me? Not good. Not good. And what is that showing God? That I can't trust the very one who created me? Yeah, ouch. That one hurt a little bit. You may lose yourself for a bit, but your spark truly will come back. I promise you. There is a future you out there. There is a future version of you out there telling that redemption story, telling your redemption story of how you overcame it all and came out on top. You will be okay. Let God use you. Surrender to him, because what comes from this, what comes from the hardest season of your life, is exactly what you've been praying for. Thank you for being here. I hope this felt like a space where you could just slow down for a second and feel present. Wherever you are right now, you're allowed to be there. You aren't behind. You are becoming. Talk to you soon.